Well, hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Uh, this episode, if that's what you want to call it, I'm trying out my new mortise machine. Just one note, I tapered these legs before I did the mortises. That's a mistake. Lay them out before you do the tapering, because there's not a straight edge to get these measurements. I made a jig to do the setup, but it was a lot more work. And here's the mortising machine. It makes pretty quick work of these mortises, compared to a drill press. You still have to take a chisel and square them up, but one more tip is I sharpened these chisels after I tried them, and they cut much better after I sharpened them. Here I'm marking out the tenons to be sawn later, but I just put it in my vise. You can see where I've cut the shoulders on my table saw. To do that, I just measured the size and centered it and ran it over the table saw so that the cut was the right size. There, I'm just measuring the depth and with my tri-square, and I transfer that measurement to the top. So here we're at the bandsaw. As you can see, I had my magnetic holder the wrong way. I had to turn it around. So I'm cutting these tenons out. I actually am cutting them oversized so I can sneak up on the size with a plane and a rasp and a chisel. Those are the tools that help me get there. So I'm cutting these really slow, which is not like me at all. But I did not want that blade to wander, and it actually helped being this slow. So I drew out the size of the tenon on the end of the 2x4, and that's why I keep leaning over to make sure that it's hitting that line. And as I said, I cut it a little large because I wanted to sneak up on the fit. So I have to confess I made a huge mistake on this. I grabbed a 2x4 that was not jointed. I jointed all the other pieces, and it was warped, and I looked at it and I thought, well, it's just a little bit of a warp. And what happened is once the sawhorses were put together, it exaggerated that warp down to the feet. I fixed it, but it was a big mistake. Here are the milled pieces ready to get put together. And like I said, this board has a warp in it. It's hard to see, but once it's on these legs, it really exaggerates it. But this is the Mortise and Tenons. So after glue up, I'm getting this sanded up ready for assembly. And this is just boring. Who wants to watch someone sanding? But it needs to be done. So here we're preparing for the final glue up and wrapping this build up. Notice I'm putting on my gloves. Very rarely do I do that. I don't know why I'm doing it here, but it's helpful. So I spread the glue around with the 5 glue spreaders God gave me, and put this thing together. So it seems whenever I'm doing a glue up, it just makes me nervous. I get as nervous as Joe Biden without a teleprompter. It's like you have to get in there and get it done. I always just put a lot of pressure on myself. So here we're putting on the other legs. Again, I'm gluing the tenons, and I smeared glue all over the mortises, clamped the legs in, and we're off to the races. I'm going to fast forward the rest of this video, and then at the end you'll see the finished product. I'm using them as a stand for my my rigid sander that I purchased. So again, here's the finished product. I did go ahead and buy a Rikon mortiser. I don't know why I'm that stupid, but I always buy two of everything, it seems.